The trade quest is a lengthy side quest sort of process that you have to go through a lot of the game, and it's split up into different sections because you have to beat certain spots of the game to reach different sections of the side quest. So we're going to start at the very beginning, which you can start as soon as you have the sword and you go back to the village. So to start off the quest, you need to go to the trendy game, which is the little claw machine game in the bottom right corner of the town. And you need to go in and you'll see a Yoshi doll for one of the prizes. After you get the Yoshi doll out of the crane game, you can take it to the very top of the town where you can trade it to a woman for her, to give to her baby, and she will in turn give you the ribbon. Once you have the ribbon, you can actually go down to the Bow Wow house and head into the right entrance of it where you see the smaller Bow Wow, and she wanted accessories, so you can talk to her and she'll see that you have the ribbon, and you'll trade the ribbon to her for dog food. We now head down to Taranbo Shores and we go into the house with the little alligator in it. His name is Sail, and we talk to him, and he loves canned food, so he's going to ask us if he'll trade the dog food for his bananas, and obviously we're going to do that, and so now we have bananas. For the next one, we're going to have to head over to Kanalet Castle, which means that we're going to have to already have beaten the Bottle Grotto, which is the second dungeon, because you have to have the power bracelet to get into Ukuku Prairie to make your way over here. So once you've done that, you can head over to the right and talk to Kiki, who will trade you for the bananas. So at first you really just give the bananas to Kiki, and then he gets all of his little monkey friends, I guess, to come over and build the bridge for you. This is actually the only trade sequence item that you have to complete the game, because you have to be able to get into Kanalet Castle to progress past this point. So other than that, the rest of this is completely optional, but you'll have to do at least up to this point at some point in the game. Anyways, though, once they get done with the bridge, they actually drop a stick on the ground, and you use that stick for the next part of the trade sequence, so we can head over to the Ukuku Prairie and find Terran. So, from the Ukuku Prairie warp point, we can head directly to the right of this, and we'll see Terran over there next to a beehive. Once we talk with him, he sees that you have the stick, and he's like, oh wow, I could use this stick to beat down this beehive, because that's such a great idea. But he hits the beehive and it falls down, and he gets chased away by the bees, so he pretty much keeps the stick on him, I guess, and then you are going to grab the honeycomb off of the ground. So that's going to be the next item in our sequence. After you've beaten Key Cavern and you have to head over to the animal village, this is where you're going to be getting your next one, where you have to go into the bottom right house and talk to the chef bear, and he will be super happy that you have a honeycomb on you, and he will trade it to you for his pineapple. From here, we head up to the Tal Tal Mountain Range where we can find Papal. Make sure you do have your Pegasus boots already, because you have to have them to be able to get to him. But once you get to him, he asks that you give him some sort of nutrients, I guess, because he's stuck up here with no food. So you give him the pineapple and he wolfs it down, and then he says that he's going to give you a hibiscus in reward. With the hibiscus in our inventory, we can head back to the animal village and go into Christine's house. You have to have the hibiscus to really be able to start a conversation with Christine, so she lets you know that she has a letter that she wants you to deliver to Mr. Wright, who is in the top left of the map. Heading out of the top left entrance of the mysterious forest, we can jump across this little gap here and head into Mr. Wright's house. We can then give him the letter and he will open it, and actually for some reason there is a picture of Princess Peach from Mario. Not really sure why that's in there. But from there, he says that he's so grateful that he wants to give you a reward, but the only thing he has on him is a broom. So you pretty much tell him that that'll work, and you take the broom as our next little trade sequence item. With the broom, we head down to Mabe Village and go talk to Grandma Yahoo, who actually tells you that her broom is either broken or it's just out of commission at this point. So you trade her the broom and she will give you a fishing hook. At this point in the trade quest, you'll have to have already beaten the Angler's Tunnel and gotten the flippers, so from there we head left of Animal Village and go down into this little area where we can swim under the bridge and find this little fisherman. And pretty much all you do is you tell him that you have a fishing hook, and then he says that whatever he catches next, he will give to you. And then once he pulls in the little reel, you get a necklace out of the water. From where we just were, we literally just swim just over to the left a little bit and talk to the mermaid in the water, and she lets you know that that was her necklace that she lost, and she'll let you pluck a scale from her tail in reward for getting her necklace back. At this point, you're going to have to make sure that you've already beaten Catfish's Maw, which is the 5th dungeon, because you're going to need the grappling hook to get across that little gap that you see there. It's just below the animal village if you walk out of the left entrance. And we shoot across and talk to the mermaid statue, and we can plug the scale into the little slot, and it opens up a little staircase below. From here, inside the cave, we head all the way to the top to find the magnifying lens sitting on this little pedestal. This is actually the reward for finishing the entire trade quest, but this isn't quite the end of it. Since we have the magnifying lens, it actually lets you see certain objects in the world that you couldn't see before. So if you'll notice that once you actually head down from here, you'll see a couple of enemies that you couldn't see in the first place, even though you could kind of hear them if you listen. Now that we have the magnifying lens, there's two big things that we can do with it. One is you can now read that dark, mysterious book inside the Mabe Village Library, and the second one is to come down here to Taranbo Shores, and you can bust open this little bomb wall, and you can head in and talk to this guy, who will actually trade you for one of the items you already have in your inventory, but he will give you the boomerang, which is actually a very helpful item in the coming up dungeons, I guess. It's going to be super useful, so you're probably going to want to go ahead and get this. One thing that I definitely would encourage you to do is if you have the extra 300 rupees on you, talk to him again, and you can actually buy your shovel back if that's what you traded him. That's what I ended up trading him because it's what I needed the least at the time, but I ended up needing my shovel down the road, so I wanted to go back and buy this off of him. So just make sure you do that if you need to, because I was really confused on how to get another shovel or get mine back from the first place. So yeah, just a heads up there. Other than that, though, that's pretty much the end of this guide. I hope this helped you guys out in some way, as it is kind of a long side quest that you have to do there, and I mean, it just takes a lot of time, and you got to make sure that you go back after you have certain items to be able to reach the next area of the item that you're trying to get. So yeah, just make sure you kind of stick with it, and you'll end up getting some pretty cool stuff along the way. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next guide.